Ask yourself a serious and important question. What can you, an employee, a shopper, a sports fan, or a family member do if suddenly faced with a terrorist attack of an airborne, poison, chemical, biological, nuclear, or radioactive substance? You cannot outrun poisonous gas. In fact, in most instances, you can't even see or smell it. What about an industrial or railroad chemical leak? They happen more often than we know. Many airborne poisons enter your body by the air that you respirate, but many others enter through your skin. During March of 1995, a sarin gas attack hit the Tokyo subway. 11 people died, 50 were injured, and thousands had their eyesight impaired. The question is, what can the public do to protect themselves? First responders have hazmat suits. The public doesn't. Our military fighting in a conflict are well protected, but the innocent public is not. What can the public do? How can the public be prepared without spending thousands and thousands of dollars? How can the public be proactive?
Hi, thanks for staying with me. I really appreciate it. But I want to show you something that I think and talk about something that I really believe you will like to know about and you will be very interested in. We've all been out in the malls, in the office buildings, on a cruise ship, in an airplane, in a subway, and even in our own homes or cars. And we've thought, what would we do if we were all of a sudden confronted by a terrorist poison gas attack? What would we do? What would you do? Well, I'd get into my life suit. But seriously, what would we do? For the most part, we die. Well, that's why I'm here. That's why I want to talk to you and get your help. I'm not trying to sell you a thing. I'm trying to get your help. Pass this message on, I guess. What does the life suit do for us when there's a gas attack? Or you're caught, and it's not a gas attack, but you're caught in a fire and you're being inundated with smoke and you can't breathe, which is the biggest cause of fire deaths, is smoke. Well, again, you would like to be in this that filters all the poison gases and filters out smoke. That would be the most optimum thing that you could do. And if you happen to have a pet, your child with you, and you get in the life suit, well, they're designed, thankfully, they're designed large enough to accommodate you and your small child or your pet. So when the threat becomes a reality, and now you hear the sirens going off, everybody's panicked, you get in the life suit. You zip it up, turn on the blower, and the blower pulls in air from the outside and pulls it through a CBRN filter. A CBRN filter stands for chemical, biological, radioactive, nuclear poisons and smoke. So it pulls it through, sends that clean air into the enclosure and you're safe. You sit back down like this. I would be sitting in it right now if I needed to be. And when you're in there and you've got your little child on your knee, zip closed, you can pick up your phone and you can call. You can call 2 people. One, you dial 911 and you tell them of the problem. You tell them what you see, you give them the situation, you help the first responders to know what's going on. Secondly, when you're done with that call, you call your other loved ones who've already seen it on TV, and they know that in that building or on that ship or that airplane or in that subway you might be, and they're panicked. They get a call from you saying, I'm okay, I love you, I'm sitting here, and my air supply, I've got 5 hours on the battery and 5 hours in the filter system until I have to change them. You're safe. You've given them a huge peace of mind. That's important. That's important with what we're facing. Other countries do this to a smaller degree, but things like this where they're being proactive. Let's talk about being proactive. If you had one of these in your desk, in your car, in your RV, at your home, in the office, put in a rack next to the fire hose in the hallway, they're available to all of us at that point. Here's how big they are. When put in a box. Not big. Not big. In fact, they take up less space than a life jacket on a boat takes. If I was on a boat and the boat was sinking, I sure would like to have a life jacket to put on. I sure would like to have a life jacket for my kids and my wife. I sure would like to have a life suit. The shelf life of these things is 10 years. Now, that's a nice long time to be on the shelf and to be safe. It's a nice long time to be inside it with air blowing. 5 hours? Goodness. You're sitting there because you can walk in them, you can walk away from the threat, you can sit there and wait for first responders to arrive, but you're the one who's in control of your destiny, your safety. Now, we all would hope that the government or others would mandate something like this for your protection, for my protection, for our protection. I don't know if that will happen, but that's not why I'm here. This is not a political address. This is to tell you about something that exists, that's been patented here in the United States Patent Office. We can do something about this, you and I. What I'm asking from you is to see this, understand, think about it, and pass on the knowledge, pass on the information, pass on to somebody that you might know that's in the manufacturing business of hazmat suits or plastic materials that could be the manufacture of these. Here in the United States, these made in the United States by you and me, by citizens, by residents, people who are caring about one another. Every time we would see one of these, or just see the box, we would know it's our buddies in the U.S. making things for buddies in the U.S. Let's talk about cost for a minute. Hazmat suits that you see on TV and all the shows, those hazmat suits cost anywhere from $1,500 to $5,500. None of us can afford that. These life suits will cost somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 10% of those numbers. Something that you can afford, that I can afford, that we can take care of and our families can afford. So, goodness. I told you it was patented. There's the United States patent. It's for real. We want to remain for real. We don't want to be slamming the barn door when the horse gets out. We don't want to be pointing fingers at people when the poison gas attack occurs. We don't want to be saying, if only. No. We want to have zipped them up, put them on, and say, we were prepared. We were prepared like the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. This is something that we can do. Something that we can do to protect one another, and we can encourage each other and each family. So I thank you for listening. And again, I just ask you to tell whomever you may know about this little thing you've seen and to pass it on. You see the email address at the bottom of the screen? Type that in. Send us a note. Give us a link to somebody else. Or just send what you've seen to somebody else and tell them you think it's something that they might be interested in. The number of jobs that this would create here in the States be in the thousands easily. So here we are. We're doing, U.S. citizens, doing something for everybody who's in this country. Doesn't make any difference why they're here, but we want to care for everyone who is here. It's our job. And I hope you'll join in this effort. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you.